Tenere 700. That's a 2021 model. I've got almost 8,000 miles on it, I think it is. I have to look. And this is just kind of my thoughts and my views on the Tenere 700. I have an XR 650L Honda and I have an XT 250 Yamaha. Now, today I'm riding mostly road, riding mostly street. But as you can see, I can get out here and the gravel stuff. The T7 is more than capable of doing that. The T7 is a great machine. I raised the handlebars on it, and the tires on it are I'm going to say they're a 50-50 tire. They're called Pearly Scorpions, and I'm going to call them a 50-50 tire because they do great on the road. You can just barely hear them just on the road as far as the road line goes. And they do real good out here in off-road, with an exception of you can't get into deep mud because they will slip and slide because they're not made for mud. The T7 is a more than capable machine to ride the road. It's more than a capable machine to ride light duty. Okay, I'm not saying sure is single tracking, but it is made to do some light duty off-road, and it does a good job. The one big drawback about the T7 as far as being off-road is it is heavy, 454 pounds. That don't sound like a whole lot, but to me it is, because like I said, I'm 69 and I don't want to pick up 457 pounds, so I'm going to try to avoid dropping that at all costs. If it happens, I just have to pick it up. That's just as long and short of that. But no, the T7 is a good bike. It's a good machine. And I have some viewers that like my XR 650 videos, and I appreciate that. And I ain't getting rid of my 650L because I'm fortunate enough to own the 3 different bikes, and it goes, just depends on what mood I'm in, what bike I want to ride. I love all 3 of them. They all do a great job. They're all fantastic machines. But today I had to do some road riding, so the Tenere, hands down, is the best ride on the road. You know, and when you're running 65, 70 mile an hour, it rides best, and it smooths out the bumps. And I did a video here a little while ago about what I call windability on the XR 650, and that was at 50 mile an hour, and it done an excellent job. Well, today it was windy, not quite as windy it was on the day I did the video for the XR, but I'm running 70 mile an hour, and this thing here done a great job too. So it's that's something you might want to think about on your bikes. Just check them out in the wind, see how they work. This bike here handles good. It handles like I said, it handles like a 250 on the road. The only time you can tell this thing is a bigger bike is right here in a tight gravel parking lot. You got to be real careful because you can get overbalanced just real quick. And that's when the 454 pounds really comes to play. You can tell it, you can feel it. But outside of that, as far as riding, as long as we're moving, thing handles like a 250. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of give you a short overview of the T7. If a person is looking for an adventure bike that you know, that more or less kind of does it all, and here again, it depends on what you're looking for, okay? And there are many types of adventure bikes out there. I like this in here over all the other adventure bikes because the way it handles, the way it's balanced, the weight of it. It's like it's just to me it's the best in all categories. Okay, now of course now you have like the KLR 650 Kawasaki, which are great machines, but the only drawback the 650 KLR it's a single cylinder, and you can't get out there on the road there and do the long monotonous 65, 70 mile an hour on the highway, and without feeling the vibration of that big thumper. But it just, that's what I'm saying. It depends on what you want the bike for. Okay, this bike here I bought because this is my road bike, and I'm gonna do a lot of road riding on it. This is what I bought for the road, to ride road. The XR 650, I bought it for my exploring. Okay, but that don't mean that this T7 can't do it too. It's just that that's what I bought the XR for, and I love riding both of them. And the XT, like I said, that's for when I'm going to go someplace where I ain't got no business going, and I need the lightest bike as I can possibly get, because I know I'm going to drop it. And not that I don't care about the XT. I love it to pieces too. But it's just, you got to pick the bike for what you're going to do, for your riding style, and for what you want to do with it. Look at all of them and pick out what's best for you. Like I said, if you're going to do just street riding, the weight of it don't make any difference, because it's the heavier the better the ride. Just plain simple. The heavier the better the ride. If you're going to do any off-road, you need to think about the weight. Okay, you need to think about the power delivery and the speeds and all this kind of stuff if you're going to do off-road. And if you're going to do dirt, just get you a small bike to start with. Okay, that's a no-brainer. Leave the adventure bikes alone. But no, and like I said, I'm just going to talk this in the perspective of the adventure bikes. Okay, there's a lot of good adventure bikes out there. And I like the simplicity of the T7. They don't have no traction control. They don't have no rider command. It's not no fly-by-wire, nothing. All it's got is them stupid ABS brakes, which you can turn off, and excuse me, and fuel injection. And that's got plenty. That's the less electronics you get on an adventure bike, better off you are, as far as I'm concerned. But that's that's up to you. If you like the gadgets, the whistles and the bells and all that kind of stuff, then that there's nothing wrong with that. But I don't like them. But the T7 is simple. So that's what I like about it. Like I said, and it's probably the lightest bike in the category of adventure bikes. With maybe, of course, now you've got the European models, the KTMs, all this kind of stuff. But they're single cylinders, and they're more bred for the off-road than what they are adventure bikes. They call them adventure bikes, but they are and they're not. It's kind of a tight squeeze of trying to figure out what it really is. So I mean, one bike ain't going to do it all. There's no such thing as a unicorn bike. They said for years they looked for a unicorn bike. There's no such creature. One bike will not do it all. One bike cannot do it all. But what you got to do is find something that's for you, that's close. If you only got one bike. So, but anyway, the T7. I said I'm fortunate enough to have the 3 bikes, and the T7. That's my road bike, but I can do some boondocking. And so that's just kind of what it is. But the T7, if you ever get a chance to ride one, you'll see it handles good, it rides good, it does pretty decent on gas. It's just a good all-around bike. You can't go wrong. Yamaha's tried and true. They're bulletproof, and I like Yamaha. I like my Honda. I like my Kawasaki. I had 2 of them, 3 of them, like them too. But you pick the bike that you want for what you want to do. So I guess that's enough of that. So ride safe, ride free.